Howdy y'all, it's Jason. Welcome to Zombicide Dead West Part 3. So in this one, we're going to look over the new Abominations and some new walkers that were all part of the Kickstarter stretch goals. Part 1 and 2, if you didn't check them out for some reason, go over all of the survivors. There was just so many, I didn't want to do a 3-hour video because I go through all the cards. This one shouldn't be too bad. We're going to just go through the new zombies and Undead walkers, or Abominations. Alright, so we're going to look over the Daily Duel house rules. So, Daily Duel walkers are used like extra walker figures, but each have their own special rule that players can use to spice up the game. So basically, you can use these as just alternate models for walkers if you want. So if you, like, in the base game, there's 5 different versions of the walkers. So this needs to add some different variety if you want to use them instead. But you can also use them with special rules if you want. They just, unfortunately, I wish they came with extra little cards, kind of like the Abominations do, just as like a little reminder, so I don't have to look back at the book for these, but that's alright. It's what it is. So we're going to start off, we have the Revenant, which is, if I can find him, that is this guy right here. So here's our Revenant. So he's a little bit more dead than the other guys, a little bit, like bones starting to show, but not as bad as the expansion long dead walkers. So what's a Revenant do for us? That'll be his picture right there. So Revenant is when killed, this walker respawns on the closest corpse pile, whether active or inactive. So as long as you have this guy, he's going to keep popping up. You only get one of him, so it's not too terrible, but he's going to keep popping back up to fight you over and over. Our next one is going to be the Gunslinger. So what the Daily Duels was, just in case you were curious, is during the Kickstarter, they had just basically like daily stretch goals that unlocked versus stuff that was money ones. So these were ones they came up with, and sometimes it was a walker, sometimes it was Abominations. So we have the Gunslinger, retains the ability to fire his gun actively. His attacks have a range of 0 to 2. So this guy could be deadly to fight against. And you're going to get 2 of them. So you're going to get 2 different other Gunslingers. So having a zombie that can shoot at range is very bad. They have very few guys that can attack at range. Up next we have the Lumberjack. When selecting his destination zone and moving towards it, the Lumberjack ignores any walls in his path. So this dude will just walk through things. And we get 1 of him. So yeah, he'll walk right through any walls. So hiding in a house doesn't help you that much. Or running outside the house. We have the Teacher. There's a little bit extra things about him, but seeing the zombified Teacher is unnerving. Makes survivors blank out and forget what they have learned. Survivors with a line of sight to the Teacher are unable to use any skills they've unlocked by gaining AP. They can still use their blue skills. So that is definitely crazy. Now, there's only 1 Teacher. Again, these guys aren't going to pop up super common, so like, if you grab them, if you just like randomly have all your zombies and you just randomly grab one, oh, I got this guy. That might cost some extra things. Or you could use them for some interesting creative story modes. Like, hey, we're going to do this. It's going to be like a Teacher is going to specifically spawn in this house. That could be interesting. But yeah, making it so you can't use extra abilities is crazy. Now, it just says, well, she's in line of sight. So even if you're not targeting her, so once she walks out and she sees you, you're in trouble. Then we have the Miner. The Miner's bag is loaded with highly explosive dynamite. When eliminated with a ranged attack, he explodes, killing all actors in his zone. Basically, you ignite the dynamite. Placing the boom token in his zone. He can also be eliminated normally with a melee attack. The survivor who does gets the dynamite. So that's actually really cool. Basically, it's like a free dynamite, one way or the other. You are going to get 2 of him. move my book out of the way. They seem to focus a little bit better. He's carrying on his pickaxe. Yeah, I get 2 of him. So you have 2 cowboys, 2 miners. So far, 1 of all the rest of them. We're going to get the station manager to go with our train. Station manager spawns on the backmost tile of the train, if possible. While on the train, he has 3 actions per activation. So if he pops up and you're trying to do a train mission, that'll be crazy. But much like the teacher or some of these other guys, you could have these specified for certain missions that you make outside of the regular game mode. So if you play through all the scenarios, add these guys in here, make the game a little bit more thrilling by having them come to certain spots. So there's our station master with his lantern. So yeah, you can spawn on your train if you have a big train mission. Then right behind him we have the stagecoach driver. It sure looks like he fell off the wagon. The stagecoach driver always spawns on the wagon zone if there's one in the game. When he moves, the wagon moves with him. If he enters a zone containing survivors, he runs them over, dealing 1 damage to each of them. So again, this would be a fun thing to have. In like a mission, you have that back in there. Now you have to deal with the train station master or the stagecoach driver before you can get access to those things. So it just adds that little extra gimmick to it. Then we have the snake oil salesman. Beware this swindler. During his activation, he'll randomly discard 1 equipment out of a survivor's backpack instead of attacking. So he won't do damage to you, but he'll get rid of all your equipment, and that's only going to be able to be helpful or that's going to hurt very quickly. So we got 1 of him. So I can get that to focus a little bit. There he is. I wish he had like a jar, like just holding like a jar or something. That would have been kind of cool. Alright. Few more survivor or walkers. We have the soldier. There's our soldier right there. So a soldier isn't every bit as lethal with his rifles as any gunslinger, and no less fearsome to the close combat. When activated, the soldier can attack survivors at range 0 to 2, and when attacking his own zone, he deals 2 wounds. So, yeah, he's deadly. And we get 2 of him. Oh, that's not him. That's the miner. There he is. So yeah, he like the gunslinger, he just attacks at range, but he also does extra damage when you're in his tile. So that makes him more like a bigger character. Then we have the mariachi. The sound of the mariachi are very distracting, making it hard to attack. Any action directed at his zone requires +1 accuracy to hit. And we are going to get 2 of them as well. So in the one Steampunk set, expansion set, the extras, we had 2 of the 3 amigos. So I recommend you in there, you can always pretend this is the 3rd amigo for the game, so you could play a game, hey, if you spawn those 2, this guy automatically spawns, and you have to deal with them, as being your 3rd amigo. Again, a little bit of thematic thing there. So you do get 2 copies of them. Then our last walker is Horsehead Walker. His newfound speediness and unsteady gait, the Horsehead Walker can run like the wind. He may make an extra move per action, just as a walker that essentially becomes a runner. So he still activates with all the walker abilities, and is treated as a walker for any other reason, but he essentially is a runner. And he has a horse head. Crazy. Yeah, his text there is. While munching on horse carcass, the zombie found himself with some fancy new headgear. Interestingly enough, it's giving him extra speed boost. I guess you really are what you eat. So those are all our new walkers. So just some extra different variations. So again, you can either play with your special abilities, or you can, or just use them as alternate figures if you want different characters on the board. Because I mean, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different ones. It's 10 different plus the other 5. That means you got 15 different walkers out at a time. Plus, if you have the Undead, the Long Dead, that's 16, 17. You have 18 different walkers out, potentially at a time without having any duplicates. So that could actually be a lot of different characters if you have everything. Now we're going to look at the new Abominations. So, adding new Abomination is simple. Add your corresponding Abomination card to the deck. During setup, unless otherwise stated, they share the same general rules. They have 1 action, they deal 1 wound, they cost 3 or a dynamite to eliminate, they provide 5 adrenaline points, and it's a special dynamite or 3 damage is required to kill them. Game effects eliminating all actors in a zone can also kill it. So then they'll get all their cards here. Could have the backs the same. So you can add all of these in, or 1 or as many as you want to your game, just to give you some different options. So let's look at each one. We're going to look at them in order of the book, if I can find their cards. So we're going to start with Alphabane. So on his card, he's just going to say what his special ability is. And then in the book, they will have the extra, like, a little bit extra information if you need it. But Alphabane has 3 actions per activation. So after all zombies, including runners, have gone through their activation step, their first one, he gets to go a second time. And then after that, he gets to go a third time. So he could potentially attack 3 times, or he could move 3 times, or move twice and attack. But he does 1, then everyone else, once everyone's done, then he takes a second one. So at least lets everyone else get eliminated. So there is big old Alphabane. Big giant wolf. We've had other creatures, so why not add a wolf into the game? Alright, who is up next in our book? We have the Cactus Queen. Oh boy, this is a favorite that a lot of people were looking for. What would the Old West be without having a cactus? So it says, when Cactus Queen is eliminated, each actor within 0 to 1 range and line of sight suffers 1 damage. The survivor earns all AP. So each actor means any zombies in there as well. So this can take out a bunch of small things, but it can also take out a bunch of people. So there she is. Big giant cactus monster. Yeah, it's kind of goofy, but definitely it's thematic, if nothing else. Yeah, so basically that's as simple as that. She doesn't have a lot of extra stuff. Then we have Death Grip. Be our next one. Let me find Death Grip. Ooh. Death Grip. Any survivor standing within range of 0 to 1 line of sight of Death Grip at the end of the zombie phase is dragged to this Abominations zone. It's not a move action. So this guy has tentacle, claw arms. Yep, I don't. Ew. Like, just ew is all I can say about that guy, right? But yeah, it adds some interesting things without making him like super powerful or anything. Next, we have Fat Mace. Ooh. Fat Mace's attacks deal 2 wounds, so, you know, still has the same movement, but this guy's gross. So plus he's got that little tiny head. I don't know what kind of zombie attack does this to a thing, but they like to have spikes. A lot of these guys have spikes, but he has that little tiny arm on the other side. Like, it's still a human-sized arm, but then everything else got bigger. Well, he's got pegs on the bottom, so looks like he has a base that he fell off of. There we go. So he's got a base. I thought it was weird that he didn't have a base, but some of the bigger guys don't always have bases. So there's Fat Maze. And then we have Gorgeyser. And where is Gorgeyser? Oh, there he is. I wasn't expecting that. Oh boy. Whenever Gorgeyser activates within line of sight of a zone with one or more survivors, it performs an attack aimed at that zone. Each survivor in that target is dealt 1 wound. So if he activates it, so basically he shoots stuff out. He's going to shoot out some acid ichor. There is his nastiness. Got big giant hulking hands too. Spikes everywhere. They love their spikes. But yeah, he's going to shoot out some acid. So if he's in line of sight with one or more survivors, he can perform an attack aimed at that zone. So that is definitely mean because he has essentially unlimited range. He just needs to be able to see you. Alright, our next one is we're going to look at Melting Pot. Melting Pot says each time Melting Pot activates, and before it moves, place 2 walkers in its zone. If there are not enough walkers, ignore this special rule. So he's going to leave extra walkers behind him. So there's this lumpy mass of undead that every time he moves, he's going to drop 2 more walkers. So he's just going to keep, you don't take him out, he's going to keep accumulating more and more walkers every turn. So you definitely want to deal with him as fast as possible. It's pretty much true for all of the Abominations. Then we have the Plymouth Hound. The Plymouth Hound can only be eliminated by the survivor with the lowest amount of AP. If several survivors share the lowest amount, all of them can kill the Abomination. So we had the big Alpha Bane, which is a big giant wolf. Now we have a little tiny one. But he needs to be taken out by the weakest character, essentially. Which can make it very hard, because if he's across the map attacking a bunch of other characters that have been fighting a bunch, you have someone hanging back in the town area, you have to somehow attract him over to there. But, that just makes it interesting. Fun little gimmick. Then we have Puss Bag. Puss Bag creates a boom in its zone upon elimination. All actors in zone are eliminated as well. The survivor who eliminated Puss Bag earns all related AP. So he explodes. But not only does, the Cactus Queen does 1 damage, this guy just kills everything. Which, I mean, he could kill other, granted, won't be another Abomination, but he can kill a lot of things. But yeah, there he is. He's a walking goo factory. Again, that big giant arm on one side and the tiny one on the other side. It's almost like he's the pre-evolution of the other one. So here's... Oh, he fell off his base. It's alright. So there's those 2 guys together. It's almost like, oh look, he's going to turn into this other guy, except he became fat and the other guy gained a fat arm. It's kind of interesting. Alright, let's slide his base back on. Our next one is going to be the Little Trickster. Oh, whoops, I showed the wrong image before. My bad. This is the Plymouth Hound. There we go. That matches that picture a little bit better. So he's a big giant wolf. Not as big as the. He's as tall as the Alpha Bane, but the Alpha Bane's definitely a little bit more muscular. Again, it's almost like a pre-evolution to it, kind of like the other guy. The little guy we showed was the little trickster. So this was actually the little trickster. Okay, so that makes it, yeah, that artwork definitely fits better. It's kind of like a jackal. So as long as this abomination is on the board, survivors cannot reroll dice in any way, roll extra dice from skills or gain effects, or get bounty weapons. So yeah, you're gonna want to take him out, because otherwise he's gonna cut off a bunch of your abilities, which would really suck. So then, beyond the little trickster, we have the great trickster. So the great trickster is actually a very interesting character. So we have there he is. Almost like a giant, gaudy, like human body, but it's like godlike. Got some fire in his one hand, got a dagger in his other hand. I mean, he's huge compared to one of the survivors. So like, here's a better drawing of him. So he works in a special way. So we're gonna look at his special rule here. He says, the Great Trickster deals 3 wounds. One does not mess with great ancient spirits without consequences. The Great Trickster has 3 avatars, each representing a different totem head. Each has to be eliminated individually in the order below. When the Great Trickster is eliminated, remove its current head, replace it with the new one. Each has its own damage threshold, an individual ability, and provides 5 AP when eliminated. So this first one's the Raven. The Raven takes 2 damage. When the Raven spawns, each survivor miniature takes the place of the next survivor's miniature. Okay. Each survivor's miniature takes the place of the next survivor's miniature, playing right after them in turn order. This is not a move action. So it moves people around. Interesting. And then second totem, Coyote, is eliminated after 3 damage. As long as Coyote is on the board, other zombies don't provide AP when eliminated. And the third one is the Rabbit. Rabbit's only eliminated with dynamite or eliminating effects, and it's considered to be a spawn zone. So yeah, this guy can definitely be hard to deal with. So yeah, deals 3 wounds, eliminates all 3. So the Raven swaps survivors. Coyote is no AP, and Rabbit counts as a spawn zone. Yeah, so then his head just kind of pops off. And then you can put on the new head. So there's his Raven head. And then if we pop that one off. Not popping off super easy, but I'm also trying not to force it. And there's his bunny head. Or his rabbit. So that is crazy, right? This different character that has different heads that do different things. Kind of makes him like an ultimate boss versus just a typical abomination. So I almost feel like if I'm going to play against him, I would only have him be the one abomination, since he technically counts as 3. Alright, so up next we have Rotten Claw. Rotten Claw is gross, like all these guys are. When he activates, the Rotten Claw is within line of sight of a zone with 1 or more survivors at range 0 to 1. It attacks. Deals 1 wound to all survivors in those zones, so he gets an extra range. Yeah, spikes, big pus, claws. Yeah, I don't know where they decided this is how abomination zombies end up being. They get all gross, but that's what they decided. Then we have Swamp Tongue. This guy says any survivor standing at range 0 to 1 and within line of sight of swamp gun must spend an additional action to leave their zone. So this guy became a giant mouth with a tongue, but I like the fact that there's the little skull face on the top. So it's not like he became a full mouth of teeth. It's like his bottom jaw just dropped open and grew really huge. Yeah, and this barbed tongue. And then our final abomination is Wendigo. So Wendigo says, as long as the Wendigo is on the board, survivors must roll one less die for their actions, a minimum of 1. And there is the Wendigo. He's a giant bone thing. I don't even know what to call him. Like, half of that's bone, like his bottom half here, I don't know if that's supposed to be all flesh. Or what, but yeah, definitely crazy. Not the Wendigo you think of. There's a big claw there. Let's see if I can figure, I don't know how he goes back in the box. So there is also just a little bit bigger picture of him. Alright, so that was our Dead West zombies. Alright, so that'll wrap up the Dead West stretch goal unbox set. So here I just did a quick layout of all the different abominations with a couple of survivors, so you can kind of see their scale compared to each other as well as compared to a survivor, which is all very much bigger. Definitely makes them threatening. Like, the Cactus Queen's probably one of the smaller ones. So definitely fun there. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Check out the rest of the other Zombicide videos if for some reason you checked out the stretch goal one first. If you guys really enjoy this, let me know. Maybe I'll try and pick up some of the other Zombicide games. If you also like this type of game or these miniatures, check out the Massive Darkness sets I've done. I've done unboxings for Massive Darkness 1 and 2, which are also by Simon Games. And keep an eye out for Marvel Zombicide, which I've done one video of the Heroes Resistance box. I'll be doing the core set when I get that shortly, within the next month or so. And then next year, when the rest of that Kickstarter content comes, I will do a full unboxing of all of those as well. See you guys in the next video. Bye.